I wasn't going to do reaction videos on this channel, but this one was just too tempting, and it's a subject that I'm going to go into later, so I guess this is a good starting point about AI and using AI for web development and WordPress plugins mostly. Let's go. So I'm not really one for reaction videos. I wasn't going to really do them on this channel, but this is actually a really good topic. I like it and I like where he's going, but I thought I would just put the developer's spin on it and my own bit of a spin. This is, as with all my videos, one take, off the cuff, straight, let's go for it. The subject of this one is WordPress plugins are becoming a waste of time thanks to AI. And I see both sides. Let's play the video. I've watched it just to kind of catch up, and that's why I'm tempted to do this. So I'm going to go ahead. We'll switch over to the video now. Yep. And yeah, I don't want to be too critical and too... It's not meant to be critical and start a fight or a war or anything like that. I just thought I would give my spin on it because I really see, from being a developer for 15 years, I see both sides of this. And I'm not saying that I agree any way or the other, but obviously that's what I'm doing here. I think small businesses should be making the most money out of their business, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So yeah, let's get on with it. Let's go.
For the last 20 years, WordPress plugins have always been the go-to solution for your website. You need a booking system? The Amelia plugin is ready to go. You want a contact form? Sure, install WP Forms. But with AI tools becoming smarter and more flexible, I now feel comfortable saying that we don't really need specific plugin categories anymore, or their ridiculous pricing plans. Now today's...
It's the pricing plans that get me. It is definitely the pricing plans of why I do this. And, you know, it's insane pricing, some of them. It is. But I kind of see why, if you'll have a project, you'll have like a director at the top, a head of development. You might have several separate development teams, and not even for each plugin. Each plugin might be broken down into possibly teams, and that's a lot of developers' wages to cover. And developers do need money, but I don't think some of the pricing that they're charging is fair. I think it is extreme. At enterprise level, I get it. It's a drop in the ocean what they're charging. For small businesses, it's a big part of your profit, and you should be the person that's making most out of your business. I've probably said most of my important points there in the first few minutes, but let's carry on.
Video is going to be a little controversial, and I like controversial videos because I like spicing things up sometimes. In 2025, AI tools can now build the same features as a plugin, such as a booking system, contact form, and a few others. No bloat, no subscriptions, and no updates breaking your websites. And have you really seen how these WordPress...
And this is the problem. If you're going to go with AI, it might not be the plugin and the updates breaking your website. It might be you doing it. And you don't have a lot of comeback if you've just gone to an AI. That's why it's not done at a large enterprise level, because there's accountability, especially with internal developers, and you should be doing testing. You should still have a sandbox environment to do the testing on if you're going to develop plugins.
Companies price their plugins. More on that later. There is no reason to pay $1,000 a year for a calendar plugin, and there's no reason to pay $800 a year for a booking form. Now, in case you didn't know, you can take AI projects that you've created with Lovable, Bolt, or Cursor and embed them directly on your WordPress websites. This is how you can connect your WordPress website with AI and start replacing plugins. So today I'll be breaking down which plugin categories are quickly becoming irrelevant in 2025.
I'll just stop there again. Yeah, I haven't used Lovable. I've got not a lot of experience with it. I'm not sure how effective it is, how good it works, how good at actually writing code it is. And I think what whatever you're going to do, if you're going to roll it out at any scale on a large website, have a rollback plan. Have a very good rollback plan. Be prepared to go to backups and restore them. And that's even if you've got a sandbox. Always have a plan B in place. Don't just start rolling out I roll out plugins. I did put a warning on to say, have a plan B. I test them on my instances. If they work, I roll them out. If they don't work very well, I improve them till they do. And I've still got a warning. I've done this a long time. I've got, that's how I get through this. There's a plan B.
Moreover, I'll explain why you should switch to AI, why WordPress plugin pricing has become pure greed, and then call out plugin categories that are basically getting replaced right now.
Staying late again?
Yep, got prospect calls to summarize. You really need to switch to Monday CRM.
There you go.
And the first category we have is booking plugins. Booking form plugins like Amelia and Bookly have always been the go-to for years. For example, the Amelia plugin is a powerful booking plugin and appointment scheduling plugin designed for businesses like salons, spas, gyms, or clinics. You can buy a license for this product for about $400 a year. That's if you want the real pro version. The other plans, well, they're just kind of upselling you. Most WordPress developers...
Yeah, I've got a lot of experience with appointment booking systems on a much larger level than probably most people are going to deploy them on WordPress. Booking an appointment is a hard thing to programmatically do. It's not as straightforward as you think. You have to generate slots. You have to do all sorts. The slots, the staff members, and these are all separate parts of the same system, and they can integrate with holiday systems and all sorts. It's a pretty, like on a big level, it's a pretty smart thing, and it's a pretty huge thing at times. So I get it. I don't think $399 for an appointment booking system is extortionate. I have to say that straight off the bat. If you're doing appointments where maybe you're making $100 an hour, that's 4 hours work has paid for a whole year at the elite level if you need that level of plugin. So I don't think this example's too over the top. If you're paying $399 for a year for something that you were maybe only making, $5 an hour back at, you possibly need to look at your business model. I think that's ultimately it. Get started with something easier and much simpler, and then maybe look towards expanding to something like this. But I don't think $399, at the price a lot of appointments, like for physiotherapists charge a lot of money an hour. Some of these private trainers, it's a lot of money an hour. So $399 isn't many hours work to make that back. So if a team of developers has developed that and you're getting all that experience and knowledge, it's not too badly priced. But I see where he's coming from. If you're a small enterprise and you're ending up paying out thousands, I just think this is a bad example. I'll stop wittering and we'll continue.
These days purposely create bad or watered down versions of their plugins with limited features of their plugins in order to make customers pay more and upsell you to the most expensive plan. And Amelia is not the only one, okay? I don't want this video to be some anti-Amelia video. They're actually a great company. They have a solid product. They're just doing what everyone else is doing in the industry, so I totally get it. But in the end of the day, they can price their products however they want. It's their business and more power to them. And I wouldn't want some punk on YouTube telling me how to price my products. But instead of going through these deceptive ecosystems, we can now bypass it with AI. With Lovable...
And I'll just cut in again. Yeah, I think there has been a bit of a trend for how much people are making. I recently watched, it's off topic, I watched a video JHS did on building guitar pedals where someone criticized him for selling them off at cost price, and they were saying the cost price is about $10, and he proved it wasn't. And when you have to put, I think it was 2.6 million down just to get the circuit boards printed for that series of pedals. Yeah, it's not $10 a pedal. I don't know where people come up with the pricing for things, and especially, if you're going to make a fair hourly wage, and you expect support and everything on with the plugin, I don't know what you're thinking. I mean, the last one of appointment booking, that is probably a bad example, and I see it as that because of it. So I don't know how well Lovable can do, how good you can give prompts for it to, do exactly what that does, because there's a lot of work goes into an appointment booking plugin. I know.
You can create a booking form tailored to your website. You can create unlimited staff, unlimited services, and unlimited integrations. Plus, you're not paying per location, per website, or per year. You build it once and it's yours forever. You can create a complex booking form with a variety of styles and design the form any which way you describe. And there's no limitations on how creative you can get or how many features you want to add to your booking form. And the best part is, you're not stuck or limited behind what the developer thinks are the best updates. You can create your own. With AI, you can create your own integrations and features. You need a Slack integration? Just ask.
Again, you can create this yourself, but you've got to ask yourself, when it goes wrong, could it go wrong bigger than $399? Could it cost your business more than that? And I think that's the question. And this is where a lot of the price for development comes. It's the liability now. If you have your own internal development team to make stuff properly, it's going to cost you a lot more than $399 per year. Because, like I say, it's not just a minimum wage employee has developed that system in his bedroom and doing that. That's a big company behind it. They take responsibility and they take some level of liability. That's a lot of the cost in it. I'm just keeping butting in again. I kind of agree with him and I kind of don't.
The AI. Log in with Slack and it's done in 5 seconds. What about a Google Calendar integration? Done in 5 seconds. You can literally build a booking form exactly how you want with unlimited fields, unlimited integrations, and you can hook it into anything. Stripe, PayPal, Google Sheets, Zapier, or even automate it with NAN. So here's a current booking form that I created with Lovable. And let's say you just got a course. You'll click on the course. Next step, select the date and time. Pretty cool. And then put in your information. All right, here we go. Animal.com. Throwing something in here. Go to book now. And we're done. And then right here, I can save this to Google Calendar. And on top of that, we have a dashboard here where users can see all the analytics of what's going on in your form. Pretty cool. Now, on top of that, you can create something a little bit more creative, like something like this, where it has this kind of like retro, like Tokyo look to it. And then if you're like a complete nerd, you can create some sort of medieval time quest, booking form or whatever. And you can just whatever you can think of, you can make it. And voila, we now have our booking form integrated on our websites. And no one's really gonna know that you're using Lovable, right? Because they can just go ahead and book things directly on the websites, just like they would from, Lovable. And doing it this way, you're gonna save a lot of money, right? And again, the sky is the limit. So you can be as creative as you want with your booking forms. What's also really cool is you can go to the styling options here and you can adjust it and style it to fit your website needs. You can also lock the scroll. So when users scroll down, it'll just scroll normally like the website. So it won't scroll on the actual app, it'll scroll on the website, making it feel more natural. And then for the advanced section, you can actually, reduce the size of the app, or you can, put it in different directions to manipulate the form how you want it to look. So if you're stuck in a subscription plan, you're kind of tired of it and you want to get out of it, go learn how to use Lovable AI and you can create some really beautiful booking forms with Lovable. And the next plugin category.
Just to check, is Lovable free or is that an booking plugins? Is that not similar to Appointment? But yeah, Appointment is a really bad example because enterprise level appointment booking, or if you manage 10 gyms and you want appointment booking to manage the staff and the appointment slots across multiple sites, $399 isn't bad. How much does your rent cost per month? And you nobody I suppose someone built the building, but like, yeah, you pay your landlord for maintenance, and it's the same with these plugins and developments. Any of my plugins, until I sell them, I don't know if I even plan to go on selling them. I might just carry on making little freebies. But if you take a free plugin off me, and it stops working with an update, I'm not in a hurry to fix it. I'll just put that out there now. So your $399 subscription a year, it might be, there might be 10,000, 100,000 people paying that, but that's what you get. You get support and something. AI isn't going to give you support, and it's probably not going to fix stuff when it goes horribly wrong. And it can. I'm not saying it will, but it can. So be prepared. Let's crack on.
Or that's going to be depreciated is, contact forms. Contact forms have the same trap. WP Forms starts with a basic plan of $99, which gives you, well, basically nothing but a simple contact form. If you want conditional logic, you'll have to get the Pro plan, which renews at $400. You want payment forms? Same deal. And if you're running multiple websites, you'll need to pay the Elite license that renews at $600 a year. It's the classic upsell model. You think you're saving money by buying lower tier, but the moment you want real functionality, you're funneled into this premium options funnel.
Yeah, like $199, $299 for a contact form. That's a load of shite. These are a lot more difficult, and there's nothing. They're a lot easier. I mean, appointments are a lot harder. There's nothing to these. You could do it yourself. You could code it yourself in HTML and put it in WordPress with a custom form to send you an email, and that's going to work. So. Yeah, like whatever works, but yeah, a contact form is nothing. That's a literal nothing, and I'm not sure why. I don't know why you would pay it, because if you Google how to make a contact form in HTML or in WordPress, I'm sure you could find it, and it's all of an afternoon's work for somebody with no experience. Go.
And check this out. If you want to add webhooks to a contact form, you'll need to pay $600 a year. With AI, you can do that for free. And to give you some examples of some contact forms that I've made, so here I have this contact form, and when people fill it out, you'll see on the right side, we have this form progress, and I instructed it to do that. Also, as we keep filling it out, you'll see that, the form progress keeps going, which is really, really cool. Also, we have this video that I added here on the top right, and when actually people scroll down, it actually follows the actual contact form. So you can have like a spokesperson here, like talking to someone to, encourage them to fill out the contact form. And then below that, we have budget, we have timeline, we have messages, file uploads, a schedule a call, and then also a FAQ section. So I thought this form actually looked really cool. Now, another one that I created was something like this, where if a user wants to buy something on your contact form, you can integrate payment gateways where, they can pick a plan right here, fill out some information, and then go through a checkout process. And the last one that I made was this one over here, where if the user fills this out, we also have this form progress where the form lets people know they're finishing. And I've actually embedded this directly on my WordPress website over here. So this is my WordPress website, and you would never know this is a contact form from Lovable because it integrates perfectly with the website. So scrolling down, you'll see we can just go ahead and fill this out, hit send message. And the thing is also is that this scrolls directly with the website. So your customers will have no idea this is a Lovable form. I don't see a valid reason to buy a contact form in 2025. For the amount of features that they give you in the contact form for $600 a year, it's just simply not worth it anymore.
Yeah, I absolutely second that. It's a load of rubbish. Build your own, do it much easier. Don't pay $600 a year for that. Appointment booking for $400 a year is an absolute bargain, especially when you put it next to this, because like, what do you even need? Just even, I don't know, just put an email address on. That's the simplest way. Just click send an email and that's done. That's your contact form. That's the simplest form of it. Just let someone send you an email. You don't want your email address web scraping and kind of pinching. And I guess that's why the form exists. So crawlers can't come and just keep taking your email addresses and spamming you. But yeah, like email, that's the thing. And yeah, contact forms, they're easy. They're not worth that. Let's go.
For the same price of a contact form, you can literally get hosting for an entire year at Cloudways or Kinsta compared to just adding a small checkbox on your contact form. And to the contact form companies out there watching this, no hard feelings, but now that we got AI, we can make these forms really easily and look better. So yeah, there's that. Next up, SMTP plugins. SMTP plugins have slowly been fading away, not all due to AI, but hosting companies. Most hosting companies like Hostinger now offer their own SMTP options for free for clients. However, SMTP plugins still create those weird pricing options. Take WP Mail SMTP, for example. Now, before we begin, I do like this plugin, so I don't mean to bash on them. I'm just saying that we don't really need them.
Again, yeah, this is a good one because it lets your emails in WordPress. If you use default WordPress emails, it gets blocked with PHP mail. SMTP is a bit more trustworthy and it gets through usually. So if you're running WooCommerce and you want to send out order updates, like thanks for your order notification or your order is shipped, you want it to go through and not be blocked or just immediately put into a spam folder. So WP Mail SMTP has a free one anyway that's until you get to a real high level, you don't need to pay for it. And then when you are at that level, it's a much smaller part of your incoming revenue. So until you kind of have that, you don't need it. You don't need to pay for it. I might do an SMTP plugin because it's not too hard, I don't think. I'll have a look at it later. But the problem as well with it is a lot of email servers they won't let you just spam out tons of emails. And you can't use them as like mailing lists. If you're going to bulk send 1,000 emails out in one go, the mail server won't like that. But WP Mail SMTP probably isn't going to fix that. And I've kind of gone off on a tangent, so off we go again.
Many more. For advanced features like email logging, managing multiple connections, and detailed reports, these are all locked behind the Pro plan. And this starts at a renewal price of $99 a year. And again, if you're running more than one site, you'll need to get their agency plan, which renews at $450 a year. But with AI, we can skip all of that. You can build direct integrations with services like Amazon.
Yeah, just to be clear, $449 a year, you could have your own server for that, I'm sure. I don't think Exchange costs anywhere near that. I'd have to double check, but I think Microsoft Exchange server is much less, and you get plenty of inboxes and stuff.
SES, SendGrid, or OmniSend. Just give the AI your API key and you're good to go.
What if you never had to prospect again?
Back on another
We'll
advert.
do it for you.
I should get that premium. Where's my skip button? There it is.
So here's how AI works with SMTP. N8N acts like a bridge between your WordPress website and your email provider. Your form submission sends data via webhook, N8N receives it, and then it triggers an email node. What that means is it'll send your information to SendGrid, OmniSend, Postmark, or Gmail. And lastly, you can add automation logic. This means you can send a user a confirmation email, then it'll notify your team on Slack, and lastly, it could add this to Google Sheets or Airtable. So yeah, if you're paying money for an SMTP plugin in 2025, you're just kind of wasting your money. And the next...
Yeah, you are, yeah. It's a bit of a... It's a bit of a one of them. Like, I would just get the free WP Mail SMTP. Ignore the premium features. You don't really need them anyway. Once your mails are going through reliably enough, then it's fine. I might do something about that if I get chance. But yeah, there's the free plugin there, and that's by that method of integrating it with other stuff. If you can get them out and you can reliably get your emails out for free, do it. Absolutely do it. Especially if you're not hitting paywalls and being spammed with adverts while you're doing it for free. That's even better.
Category to go is calendar plugins. WordPress calendar plugins like the Events Calendar and the Modern Events Calendar plugin have been popular for years. The free versions are stripped down to the point of being pretty much useless. And the moment you need real functionality like recurring events or ticket sales, you're forced into this expensive add-on and pro plan market. Check this out. The Modern Events Calendar plugin for unlimited websites costs $1,000 a year. Let me say that again, $1,000 a year for a plugin. Plus,
yeah, like I say, if you've got your own development team, it's probably going to cost you more a year, but they're probably going to do a lot more than just this. And they're going to do it bespoke and absolutely bang on. But that is enterprise, big company level. if you're just a small person, this is a lot of money a year out of a small business for something it's not super advanced. It's not rocket science. Rocket science isn't that hard. It's just how fast can you push the fuel out the back. So it's not something very difficult.
They're going to throw you into their add-on market to get even more money out of you. I personally hate all these plugins that do this add-on market, because when you buy the pro version of a plugin, what are you really buying if you have to buy add-ons for the plugin? Doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. If you're getting a pro or a premium version, you should get everything included. It shouldn't be, you've given us $500 a year, we want another 50, another 100 for this. It shouldn't be. You should get a comprehensive package, really. MailChimp's good. I just noticed that there. Off we go.
Faster did with Late Points. They recently acquired this company and decided not to sell the add-ons, and they included it in their main pro plan. This makes sense. So plugins that offer this whole add-on market, they should really be included inside the pro plan. I know that Bookly does this and also a few others, and I've just never really liked it. AI tools will change this completely. With Lovable, you can generate custom calendars that look exactly the way you want, whether it's a month, week, or list view. You can add recurring events, integrate with Google Calendar or iCal, and even include RSVP or payments with PayPal and Stripe. Instead of being locked into a developer's design and pricing tiers, you can create your own. So next I went ahead and I created a calendar event plugin. And on this calendar right here, you'll see that we can click on specific events. Now this is coming from an admin point of view, so I can create specific events here and then customers can go ahead and buy tickets for those events. So I'll put in the title, the description, the category here. We have the start date and time, location, and then I can let the AI know this is a paid event and users can go ahead and pay me money for this specific event. Now, once the customers actually click on this right here, I created this pop-up where they can actually get some information about the event. We could also probably add like an image here, so maybe I should probably add that in. We also have event details, and then right here, they can buy the ticket and they can pay directly with Stripe or PayPal. Also, as an admin, I can actually have my own dashboard right here. This shows the events, my registrations, how much I've spent, and this syncs up directly with the actual calendar. So this is for the admin's point of view. And for customers, you can create a little customer portal right here where it'll let them know about what they're signed up for, and they can also click on browse events and then go directly back to the calendar. And then over here, we have settings where users can enter their personal info, notifications, billing, and payments. So they can go ahead and adjust their billing methods right here. And then we have privacy and security, app preferences, and time zone and whatever else. So you can do all of this without having to do anything or
A little note on payments and billing. You want to be very careful when you're doing anything with that, because it's almost a scammer and a hacker target to do your own payment and storing storing card details is a minefield. You want to be very careful. Test, penetration test, and that's what you're paying for when you get like premium plugins and they take a percentage of every transaction. It's because you're getting something secure, more reliable, and it's backed by a money back guarantee. So if anybody has the money stolen, chances are they're going to get it back and they're going to be all right. But payments and billing, be careful storing card details. And like I say, when you like payments and billing, developers are a thing of their own. So yeah, just be cautious with that one and doing your own stuff. And scammers are out there trying all the time to get into things. And if you get a proper, secure, developed plugin, people are going to keep that up to date. As soon as something's highlighted and there's a vulnerability found, a team of people will be all over that. And that's it. So ask yourself, what's it worth compared to the problems it could cause if it's not quite right? Be confident in what you're doing and do a lot of testing. And you be sure, especially with billing stuff, if it's just losing money for your business and you've put some cheap plugin in, then well, that's on you, isn't it? But if it's somebody else's card details that have got out and they're having problems, well, be careful.
Intervening for your customers. So I just thought this was really cool. I just like the idea that you as a customer now are given the power to create any sort of platform you want with AI instead of relying on third-party developers from WordPress to create, plugins that might not have what you want. And the last category I think will go away soon is table plugins. Table plugins like TablePress and WP data tables have always been the go-to solution. This lets WordPress users display pricing charts, comparison tables, and product data. But these plugins come with major downsides. The free versions are limited. Advanced features like filtering, conditional formatting, or database connections are locked behind premium plans that cost $200 a year to $800. That's right, $800 for a table.
Yeah, I think $600 half price for your first year, and then on to $1,200 is a lot of money to draw a table. I'm sure there's some solution there. If you like, it'd be a PHP query to get it out of the database and sort it and do it dead easy. It can be done. You can make your own plugin. You could develop your own, little bits of shortcode to drop in. Yeah, go for it. Just don't, like I said before, don't open up any vulnerabilities in the site, and you should be fine. But a table is a very basic thing. Yeah, it shouldn't be rocket science, and yeah, I don't know. I don't get why you would do it anyway. It seems like a very outdated way of setting out a website and doing stuff, and yeah, I don't know.
Table plugin, I am not kidding. Plus the designs often look dated, not unless you spend hours of custom CSS tweaking it. AI tools are quickly making these plugins obsolete. With Lovable, you can generate responsive, modern tables styled to your website's culture or branding. You can also create reports and analytics for your customers with just a few clicks. So this is a table that I created with Lovable, and here users can go ahead and they can filter through specific categories and prices as well. They can also add rows. They can also add columns as well. Right here, they can go ahead and put something in. If we scroll down, you'll see that we have more tables here, and you can create as many tables as you would like to showcase this to your customers. You can also sync this up with N8N and pull information automatically from various websites using an API. Also, if you want to get really crazy, here at the top right, I added this little design bar where users can actually make something really crazy if they want a specific style. I mean, you don't have to, but I'm just saying there is no limitations on what you want to add to your, to your table. Here I put in a light and a dark mode, which I thought was really cool. Users can also download this as a PDF and also download this as an Excel spreadsheet. Now looking at TablePress over here, it virtually looks pretty much the same. You can make the same type of table. Here the users can download this as a PDF, Excel, but look at this, SCV. We don't have this. Let's add it in. So I went
CSV.
ahead and I asked Lovable to add in a downloadable CSV file for my customers. So now they're gonna add this feature onto my table. In a matter of about a minute, we now have this SCV file where we can
CSV.
Now download this for our customers. No need to wait for updates, no need to wait for feature requests. We can now make our own. I spent about a day contemplating if I should make this video, but I've been using Lovable for some time, and then seeing how these companies price their plugins, I just thought it was the right thing to do. I think it's time people actually fight back against this corporate greed. There's no reason to pay $600 a year for a contact form. There is no reason why to pay $800 a year for a table plugin. There is no reason to pay $1,000 a year for a calendar plugin, and there's no reason to pay $800 a year for a booking form. I say this because a lot of these large WordPress companies work as a network or clique and only agree to promote each other's products that are the most expensive. This is how the WordPress industry works, and it kind of sucks. There's a ton of plugins that are probably a lot cheaper, but you're gonna find them on either page 500 in their WordPress repo or on page 9 in the Google search. In fact, if you combine the price of these 4 plugins, that's gonna be $3,200 a year for just very basic functions on your websites. And when you compare that to AI, you can probably spend maybe like $200 on Lovable to generate these and not have to worry about subscriptions or payment plans or updates breaking your website. And for the developers watching this video and scratching their head thinking, well, Darrel, what would you charge for a plugin then? Well, I think no plugin should cost more than $50 a year. Take a look at
Yeah, it's like I say, when you've got a whole team of developers who are doing something like $50 a year for a tiny business, and I think that's the distinction. At enterprise level, they should be paying more for it. If it's just a fundamental thing to get a small business running, free $50 a year. Well, what do you need at a tiny level? There's good enough stuff out there for free to get you up and running and keep you going. You can run an online store for just the price of the hosting, really. And until it gets to a massive thing, you really don't have to worry about, $3,200 a year for a lot of these. I think small gyms, and again, it's like I say, running a gym or anything where you're doing appointment booking. Appointments in anything are expensive now. So yeah, that's it. And I think what you need to look at is, if this system goes wrong, how much could it cost your business? And I don't think it's not just one little, especially when you look at the big circle of where is it? Back to these bigger companies. We'll just nip back there. Back to these people. Those aren't small businesses. Those are huge companies, and they take responsibility when stuff goes wrong, and they fix and they're proactive with stuff. And that's what you're paying for. It's the security for your business. And like I say, these ones, there isn't one developer like me sat there thinking, I'll just do that and dish it out for free, and it's a couple of hours work, fine. And there's teams of people will be working on sections of some of those plugins, and everything they do is kind of all made to work nicely and stay up to date. And yeah, it's how much money you could lose and how much it could cost your business if these go wrong. I can't remember where we're at again, so I'm just going to replay that and off we go.
This is how the WordPress industry works, and it kind of sucks. There's a ton of plugins that are probably a lot cheaper, but you're going to find them on either page 500 in their WordPress repo or on page 9 in the Google search. In fact, if you combine the price of these 4 plugins, that's going to be $3,200 a year for just very basic functions on your websites. And when you compare that to AI, you can probably spend maybe like $200 on Lovable to, generate these and not have to worry about subscriptions or payment plans or updates breaking your.
And I think this comes back to what I say about the pedals and the guitar pedals and how much it actually costs to custom build stuff. From the outside, it's very easy to think that these calendars and appointment booking systems are simple bits of core functionality. It might be core functionality for your business. It's hard to write an appointment booking system. I'll just put that out there. To write a good, decent one that's going to be reliable, work well, not open things up to vulnerabilities, and to do everything and to have a team of developers. It isn't usually something that's just done by one mastermind in half an hour on an afternoon. This is something, it takes a lot of work, and the systems have to be flexible when you're doing them on that level to work for a lot of different people. So there has to be config, there has to be flexibility, there has to be updates, there has to be a roadmap going forwards. It's a lot of work. So I get it, and I think there's a big difference between a small company's requirements and something that's at enterprise level. But why would you get an off-the-shelf plugin at enterprise level? Just go and get your own in-house development team to do it properly and bespoke for you. So that's the difference, really. I forgot where we were up to. On you go.
Website. And for the developers watching this video and scratching their head thinking, well, Darrel, what would you charge for a plugin then? Well, I think no plugin should cost more than $50 a year. Take a look at Elegant Themes. This company sells a theme with a visual page builder. With their pricing plans, you can get all their plugins, including the Bloom plugin, the Monarch plugin, and the Divi Builder, and the WordPress theme for just $89 a year. There's no reason why these plugins with minimal functionality should be charging these outrageous prices when their development is minimal at best. If Elegant Themes can do it, these other guys can do it. I've always said this in all my videos, Elegant Themes is by far the most ethical WordPress company in the industry. They price their products really fair, and the reason why I haven't made any videos on Divi is because they are currently transitioning to a 5.0 version, which is a complete overhaul from their other 4.0 version. So essentially the Divi you're using right now is gonna look very different in just a few months. And when that update comes out, I'll definitely make a video on it. But let's be real, the pricing I showed you today was crazy. Now, I know I showed you the most expensive plan in these examples, but they purposely create watered down versions of their product in order to push customers to buy these outrageously overpriced plugins, and I'm just really against it. And to the devs watching this, there was no hard feelings. We're in the era of AI, so using AI to create workarounds for, plugins, it's just the natural thing to do. And I know the dev argument is gonna be something like, well, Darrel, we worked really hard to make this plugin and we can charge whatever we want. And if you use our plugin, it can make your website a lot of money. And that's fine. I'll acknowledge that argument, which makes
Again, it's like with anything when you buy and sell it, you can charge what you want, but people don't have to pay it. I think that's the thing. And now there is a wealth of plugins and free plugins and bits and pieces out there, and you can do your own bits and you can do them lighter, easier, and cheaper. But it's your choice of what you buy and how much you want to spend on it. And I think ultimately the question is how many hours are you going to save by spending that $500 a year, and how many headaches and nightmares going forward is it going to save you in the long run? If it's a contact form and you're going to make it, it's absolutely not worth it. If it's a full appointment booking system that's all singing, all dancing, does everything you want, and it's $400 a year, I would go for it. That's fine. And I think, I see both sides. I'm not going to say, developers, if they're doing something good, they deserve exactly what it is for it. And there are some very good developers, some not so good developers. And I think the understanding of basic functionality is vastly different between Darrel here and some developers who have done this and know. And I'm not saying developers should be the people making the most money out of your business. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm just trying to give a bit of that developer opinion. Let's get to the end.
Sense. But until they become reasonable and offer reasonable prices, I just simply will not recommend them no more. And I think me offering a cheaper alternative to my audience is just the right thing to do. So I'm gonna go that route. And I think people here watching this should do the same thing and start using AI. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about AI tools and everything that we talked about in the comments below. My name is Darrel Wilson, and I will see all of you party people later.
With Virgin Media.
Close that and we'll go back to the camera. That's me just being tight and not even paying for ad-free YouTube. I probably should I'll pay for it if I'm doing more videos like this. But yeah, I think he has got a valid point. There's some apps out there that are an absolute rip-off. They are charging too much. Should you rely on AI? It depends what you're doing. I am not so sure how Lovable works and what it does. He's kind of just pasting like iframes and links back to their site into his, and fair enough. If you can get it working, you can get it working, and you can get away with that. But maybe your data's going out elsewhere and being handled elsewhere, and I wouldn't like to hazard a guess at where it's maybe going and who's seeing it. And I don't know. There's a lot of reasons for both sides of the argument. If you're enterprise level, just get your own development team and pay for them. You make millions a day, so what's the problem with paying a few developers to do stuff properly? I guess people in the middle are the ones that's tricky ground, and it's going to cost you a fair $1,000, and it might be proportionately more of what you make in a business per year. This is ultimately what it boils down to. It's how much your business makes, and how much it's managing risk is a lot of what it's about. So that's kind of my take on it. I think he has some very good points, and I don't think the people at the bottom, not the bottom, the small businesses, we're not at the bottom. We're the ones, the foundations holding the economy up. That's how we work. Small enterprises and small businesses shouldn't be footing the bill of huge development costs like this. just do without the plugins. Do them your own way. Get a good web developer, and they'll be able to sort everything out working well enough without a ton of real expensive plugins. That's my advice. Find a good small web developer that'll do it for you reasonably. But then again, the problem is, if you pay a small developer, they go and get a job elsewhere and they stop doing what they're doing, and you have to pay somebody else a ton to figure out what they've done. That's where it gets expensive. And this is where some of the costs of things, they're just worth paying. Have a good think about it. Weigh up the costs. Is $400-500 a year. I totally get his pricing thing. That's what I hate on it. I think, yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one to call, and it always is, because there's a lot of hidden costs with running a plugin business like that, and you have to pay people a wage every month. So you can't just hire a bunch of developers, get them to write a plugin, and then fire them. And that's why it's often not contractors. There'll be contractors maybe bought in to do stuff, but these are full-time people that need a full-time job as well. And I think, yeah, I get it. But developers often aren't, the people who wrote it probably aren't the ones that are making a ton. There's somebody at the top of those companies that is probably the one making the most money. But again, they've got liability overheads. They've got all sorts. They've all got to kind of keep up and pay wages. So yeah, but ultimately, I do agree with him, but I'm just playing devil's advocate. I do agree, and I think the pay ladders of, a free one that does practically nothing. I think it comes down to what your definition of core functionality is, and what you think you should be getting for the price. And I think $400 for appointment booking seems like a bargain to me. I think, more than that for a simple contact form is absolutely stupid. So I hope I haven't upset you, Darrell. I hope you kind of see my point of view, and I just thought I'd take you up on the causing a bit of controversy, and I'd put my side of it across. I could probably go on a lot longer about this, but I'm going to cut the video short here. Thanks to Darrell for giving that good video out. I thought it was a good one, and that's why I'm responding. If you like my response, like, subscribe. I'm going to do free plugins. That's what I do. I think people deserve core functionality. And if you want to see them, like, subscribe, buy me a coffee. My plugins only cost as much as a coffee, and I'm mixing my words because I need a coffee. Hint, hint. I'm going to call it a day now. I think I've rattled on for too long anyway. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. I didn't know whether I was saying later or next time then. Losing the plot. Bye.